with convenience in mind. Call Jamie Kyle, 423-381-3429.
We are joined by longtime friend Matthew Rodante, who is now an author. Good morning, Matthew.
Good morning, Steve. How are you doing?
I am doing great, and you have actually written a book called You've Been Lied To, Revealing Truth so you can heal, grow, and help others do the same. What inspired you to write it?
So I'm married and we have 6 children. I'm also a middle school teacher, and I've taught over 2,000 students in this community over the past 20 plus years. And what I've noticed is this younger generation, they are technologically savvy, they're smart, and they're quick, and they can adapt to things. However, they're being bombarded with a lot of targeted messages from politicians or different agendas from companies, and they're being sold a bunch of lies about different things. And so I just have a burden and a heart to share the truth and expose the truth. And so I just want to, that inspired me to write this book.
So talk about the genre of the book.
Oh, okay. I guess it would be inspirational, motivational, perhaps like a life coach type of book. I guess it would fall under self-help, but it's really just, inspiring them and just encouraging them in the truth.
We're joined by Matthew Rodante. He's written the book called You've Been Lied To, Revealing Truth so you can heal, grow, and help others do the same. I'd love to talk about the process about writing the book.
So the writing process was challenging. You don't know what you don't know until you know. And so you think this is going to be, I can write and stuff, but you get into it and it's time consuming. And then once you finally are done, the real work begins. The editing process and the formatting of the manuscripts, and then reading the book out loud for the audiobook and trying to come up with a cover and design and all of these things. It's like the real work begins, when you finally are finished with the writing. So it was a challenge, but it was good.
What kind of topics do you cover in this book?
So I cover a very wide range of topics. There's 27 chapters. So I try to, first I introduce what truth is and tell them what truth is. Truth is objective. It's not subjective. You can't have your own, and I have mine, and that, if they conflict. So I bring that up, but then we cover finances, we cover political issues, cover day-to-day things, racism, cover sex, cover God, everything, that this generation is kind of is hot button issues. And I kind of wanted to shy away from some of those things, but if this is a book about truth, to be honest, I want to get those hard topics out there and address them in the truth.
Matthew Rodante joins us. He's written a book called You've Been Lied To, Revealing Truth so you can heal, grow, and help others do the same. And, of course, we're in the buckle of the Bible Belt here in Cleveland, Tennessee.
Yes, we are.
Is this a Christian book?
So it is not your typical Christian book. In fact, I would say 80% or more doesn't really mention God or things of that nature. It is a book about truth. And I actually wrote it with the intention for the entire generation to be able to pick it up and read it and appreciate it and grow from it. And a lot of it is for people who are not Christians, because I want them to pick up the book. And by the end of the book, I hope that they will really be questioning, does God exist? And if he does exist, what does this mean for my life? But, there's a lot of people who are not Christians. They're not going to go into a Christian bookstore and pick up a book. But if they pick up another book, that's just about truth, then it'll lead them on the path and stuff. And so, no, it's not an overtly Christian book, but it does, God is brought up into it here and there throughout the book.
So, look, you're a husband, you're a father, you're a teacher. How did you find time to do this, Matthew?
I set my alarm for 1 a.m. and woke up, and then, no, I'm just kidding.
Oh, man. Wow.
No, I would actually start putting things on the calendar, and the hardest part is to get started writing. So I'd put schedule a 3-hour block or a 4-hour block here. So that started 2 years ago. Wow. When I started writing this. And life gets busy and stuff. And then so on the weekends, I'm a teacher. So sometimes in the summer, sometimes on spring break or Christmas break, I was sitting there and hashing this out. And but eventually I got through it. Yeah, but it took a while.
So here's a question. Did AI help in any way?
So AI helped with 0 of the content of the book. However, I did use AI for the notes and the works cited. So when I would use a quotation or another book or a movie or whatever, I would go to AI and just plug in, what's the Chicago style citation for this? So for the content of the book, there was zero AI. And you might find this interesting, but Amazon actually limits authors to uploading 3 books per day, because so many authors use AI to just spit out books and then they post them. So Amazon actually has to limit that. But in the content of this, there was zero AI used.
Well, Matthew Rodante has written the book, You've Been Lied To, Revealing Truth, so you can heal, grow, and help others do the same. What's the feedback been like?
The feedback's been mostly positive, but it's been all positive. It's from friends and family. But my first real genuine feedback I felt like was when I had a colleague of mine, good friend, I had him edit the book for me. And this was, I don't know, probably 8 or 9 months ago. So I gave him a manuscript, a rough draft, and we talked it out. And he said, I'll probably get it back to you. Is a month okay? So we agreed on a month. So I gave it to him on Friday. Well, Monday morning, he walks to my classroom and was like, hey, I'm finished. And I was like, what, just the weekend? And he said, oh, yeah, it was an easy read. I got into it, and I just knocked it out, and I didn't put it down, and I just went through the whole thing. And he's like, yeah, it was really good, and I'm really impressed. So when that happened, I felt good. That was my first, real, genuine, positive feedback.
All right, so how can people get a copy of the book?
Oh, Amazon is the easiest way. And I priced it my profit margins are really small because I didn't do it to make money. I just did it to share. So it's $10.99 for the paperback on Amazon. If you're an ebook reader, it's only $4.99. The audiobook will hopefully be out in a week or two on all the platforms, iTunes and everything. And I'm not sure exactly what the price point is on that, but it'll probably be around that $5 range or something, or maybe less.
Final question. Any advice for aspiring authors?
Yeah, do some research on the front end. I mean, it is a big job. Do you want to self-publish, or do you want to go the traditional route, which takes longer? Also, how much can you do yourself versus what do you want to pay people for as far as editing, formatting, graphics? And then just, if you are going to write something that you want to get out there, make sure you're writing something that you're actually passionate about. And my goal was to make a difference, not just, to write a novel or something.
Our longtime friend, Matthew Rodante. The book is You've Been Lied To, Revealing Truth So You Can Heal, Grow, and Help Others Do the Same. And you were telling me off the air, tell me about the chapter headings.
Oh, yes. I wrote it. Every single chapter is a lie. And then I go through and I reveal the truth to that. So one chapter.
Here's the first one. Now, Bridget, you can determine if this is a lie for yourself or not. You're worthless. Now,
that is a lie. You have great value.
Oh, Matthew!
I never hear that in this room, so thank you.
Matthew Rodante, again, how do they get the book? One more time.
Amazon, and you can just type in Matthew Rodante or type in You've Been Lied To, and it'll pop up for you.
Matthew Rodante, thank you, buddy. Great to see you.
Thank you so much.
Longtime friend, Matthew Rodante. Very, very proud of what you're doing here. All right, that's going to do it for us here.